Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you for coming to my channel. I'm going to entitle this video, or I think I am, something along this line. Beware, be cautious, and watch your money. Because I'm going to share a couple of stories with you, and it's like, these are just, it's too many of these incidents. I'm like, okay, every blue moon this takes place or happens accidentally, but it's almost on a almost every other day basis, depending on if I'm going outside or not. And what I mean by that is this, and this just happened yesterday. There are two stores that I frequent, and one of the stores is a little further out of the way, but it's worth it. Better quality of food and a better neighborhood. So I go there, me and my wife, to stock up for the bulk groceries. The other one is not too far from me. I go there to get little small things that I forget to get from the big store. And I'm saying to myself, like the last couple of months I've been going there, and I go in with the idea of spending this. And when I walk out, I didn't spend twice as much as this. I'm like, what the fuck? So this was just really, what the incident that happened yesterday is ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not going back there anymore. I just make my trek to the bigger store, the further distance. But I try to get all my shopping in when I go do the bulk shopping, you know. But every now and then you forget stuff. Like yesterday, when we went to the bulk store, forgot the napkins. And it's like, okay, so let me go to the other store that's not too far down the street to get the napkins and a few other items. So I had $40 in my pocket, and you try to budget your money for that day. Because I'm like, I'm going to spend about maybe $20 getting these little odds and ends that I didn't get at the big store. And that other $20 I'm going to, purchase something for dinner for me and my wife, on Sunday, so she ain't got to worry about cooking. So I go to the little store, or the store down the street, and I'm kind of really mindful what I'm putting in my cart. I got a few items. I'm like, okay, it's about, $22? Okay, something like that. So I get to the register. She rings it up, $41 fucking dollars. I said, I know damn well this is not $41 worth of grocery. Oh, well, let me check. Oh, I did. I actually rang up some stuff 3 times. That's inexcusable. I'm like, okay, you cheat me out of $1 or $2, 5 at the most, $20 fucking dollars. And I'm like, you work here. I used to work in a grocery store. I used to, 14 years. I ended up becoming the assistant manager at one point before I went to corporate America. So I'm saying to myself, when you work at a grocery store, just by looking at some things, you get an idea what they cost. Now, you're not going to come round it off to the nearest penny, but you know damn well when you work at a grocery store and you're ringing up some stuff and you look at it and you assume it's twice as much as it is. That's ridiculous, Most of us, when we worked there, we knew where every item in the store was. When people walked up on us, say, could you tell me where the detergent is? Aisle 7, ma'am. Oh, sir. You kind of got an idea how much it costs because you've been ringing this stuff up every day. So how could you be that far off? And, I shared that with my wife before. I said, I think they trying to overcharge people because this is not the first time. This is like almost every time I go there. I got 10 items and I'm assuming this much because I know how much it costs when I pick it up off the shelf. And when I get up to the register, it's twice as much as what I anticipate. I'm like, I know my math ain't that bad. So I'm not going back there anymore. If I were asked, do you think they deliberately trying to cheat you? I would kind of say yes or no. Sometimes they deliberately do this, and sometimes they're just incompetent and can't count, not ringing up stuff. Because the lady told me she must have accidentally rang up something because when she had the paper, and I'm like, again, you sell papers in this store every single day, which means you scan them every single day. And she's sitting there just running it across. She did that about 5 times. I'm like, what's the problem here? Here's the UPS code, scan it, and that's it. Ran across about 4 or 5 times, And when I called her on it, she's like, oh, I think I must have, you think you did. $22 worth. Because again, she rang up $41. It was like $22. I'm like, come on. And this is somebody that didn't just start working. And this person been here for a while, And that's not the first time in that store. I'm assuming, I know my math ain't that off. I look at what I'm buying, and I look at the price. It's not like I'm just throwing stuff in my cart, not having no idea how much it costs. I'm like, I know exactly how much it costs because I'm looking at the label on the shelf before I even put it in my cart. You know, and you guys have to watch people because I wouldn't say 100% again that they're deliberately trying. They're just incompetent, you know. And now you got to be come behind me, be the accountant, and ring this up on your own. You know, I stopped going to the Popeyes and I missed them chicken sandwiches about 2 weeks ago because I was going there regular at least once a week, and my price kept fluctuating. And I'm like, I'm buying the same thing every day, so why is it this price today and 3 days later it's this price? And the kicker was I deliberately ordered less. I was like, I don't want any pops, just one fried dinner sandwiches. He rang it up for more than what it would normally be with all that stuff. I'm like, dude, why is it more when I'm buying less? Oh, wait a minute. He took $6 off. I'm like, come on now. You know, again, 50 cents here, $1 here, $2, $5 at the most, and I ain't happy about $5. But you ripping me off for $22, and then the Popeye people ripping me off for what, $7? One time he took $8 off. I'm like, okay, we're gonna stop this nonsense. So you're not going there anymore. You know, just start making more nutritious, healthy meals at home. But I'm gonna touch on this and then I'm gonna sign off, because I actually did a video on this about my credit card. So one of my credit card companies, I got to the point because I thought I was being cheated. I'm like, why isn't this refund reflecting in my balance? It is. It's in there, and did some numbers, and I'm like, okay, I'm still kind of not believing that, but you know, this is your job, and I'm hoping that you know how to do your job. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Second time that happened, I was prepared, because from that point on, I started to keep a balance sheet of my balance every single day, meaning that when I signed on, I'll go to my credit card and look at the balance, and I write it down for this date. Okay, this is how much I have as far as that the balance that I have as of this day. Every single day I did that, and then I had a refund from Reverb of $200, and now when it came to the credit card, it didn't reflect. It was $167 missing. So I did the math. I'm like, I know I'm not wrong, because last night this was my balance. So the 200 came in. This should be what it is. But my balance is different. You know, it's like part of that 200 didn't take. And I called them and they gave me some double talk, which made no sense, because I'm like, unless there was a change in balance sometime during the night when I took my last account, which was 4 hours earlier, this shouldn't be right. You know, this is not right. Or, you know, now, okay, unless the balance changed, then I must be wrong. But the balance changed and I was right. They stole 100, and I stress this. They stole $167 from me. So I cut that card up, and actually, yeah, I paid it off when that stimulus came, so I had nothing to do with them. But you got to watch people, you know, because you say to yourself, well, I shouldn't have to come around and be the accountant of this, because this is not my job. My job is just to pay you guys for what I owe. And what I owe, it should be what I owe, instead of there's a discrepancy with what I owe. And I know what I owe, and it's not matching up. You know, same thing with the grocery store incident yesterday. I knew I spent no more than like $23, and actually it was like $21. I was off by $2. I know that's how much I spent. So why is the register saying I owe $41 fucking dollars? Because you're not doing your job. You know, you're cheating people, and you end up and you know how to count. You know, so I don't recall experiencing nothing close to this. And I know things changed 20 years ago. You know, the worst case scenario when I go to the store, okay, they double charged me for a $3 item, or they got $3 from me. Now they got gouging me for $20-some, you know? And again, like I said, I used to work in a grocery store, and I can look at a small amount of items and kind of determine an idea of how much it costs. Again, I'm not going to round it off to the nearest dollar, but I'm going to be close. And I'm like, you work here, and you could look at this and kind of determine this ain't $40 worth of merchandise, you know? So not going in no more. You know, like I said, I was suspecting that they were overcharging me. You know, now I know, you know, because when I called her on them, I'm like, this is too much. And I know I'm not spending $40 up in here. You know, my mission today was to spend about $20 $20 up in here, and that other 20 go towards, dinner, dinner for that night. So you guys just be careful out there, because it ain't like it used to be when you can, expect people to be honest, competent, and doing their job, But now, you go to the store and you get overcharged $20. You go to the fast food place, get overcharged $8. So until next time, take care and thanks for watching.